Number 1. Yamashita's Gold. As Japan's empire began to crumble during World War II, whispers of a hidden treasure emerged from the shadows. General Tomoyuki Yamashita, known for his strategic mind on the battlefield, allegedly ordered the concealment of vast quantities of gold, precious gems, and priceless artworks. This wasn't just a stash of riches, it was Japan's legacy, buried deep within the dense jungles and treacherous mountains of the Philippines. Imagine for a moment the thrill of discovery, the hope that one day someone might uncover this lost fortune. The treasure became an obsession for many: American intelligence officers, treasure hunters, and even Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos. For decades, expeditions have been launched, each one brimming with dreamers chasing the promise of wealth beyond imagination. Some claim that portions of Yamashita's gold have indeed been found, used secretly to fund Cold War operations, further intertwining history with intrigue. But the journey continues for many who wander the thick foliage of the Philippine landscape, armed with metal detectors and maps dotted with cryptic clues, hopeful that they might stumble upon a hidden chamber or a booby-trapped cave. The stories keep evolving, with tales of gold-laden skeletons guarding their treasures and traps left behind to deter the unworthy. Such legends captivate the imagination, don't they? The blend of history, mystery, and adventure invites us to dream about what could be lurking beneath the surface. For those still digging in the jungles, each day holds the promise of a revelation that could change their lives forever. An echo of the past igniting the hopeful spirit of today. Number 2. The Amber Room. The Amber Room, often referred to as the eighth wonder of the world, was an absolute marvel, a breathtaking chamber adorned with stunning panels of amber and gold that shimmered like sunlight on water. Originally constructed in the 18th century for the Catherine Palace near St. Petersburg, this exquisite masterpiece not only showcased the artistry of its creators, but also represented a symbol of opulence and culture. However, its dazzling beauty couldn't protect it from the tumult of history. During World War II, the Nazis invaded Russia and seized the Amber Room, packing it meticulously into crates for transport to Königsberg. Imagine the sheer audacity. A treasure that had survived centuries was now being stripped away, its rich amber glistening even in the dim light of war. But the story doesn't end there. As Soviet troops pushed closer, the Amber Room vanished without a trace. Theories about its fate run wild. Some whispers suggest it fell victim to Allied bombings that ravaged Königsberg. Others believe it hid in a labyrinth of secret tunnels or even made its way aboard a sunken ship, cloaked in the depths of the Baltic Sea. What an intriguing thought. Can you picture the sea concealing such a luxurious treasure? To this day, a replica stands in the Catherine Palace, an homage to what was. Yet, the mystery of the Amber Room continues to captivate historians and treasure hunters alike, inviting each of us to ponder the elusive nature of our world's hidden wonders. What would you give to uncover the truth of its fate? Number 3. The Nazi Gold Train. The Nazi Gold Train, a ghost train thought to be lost beneath the rugged Owl Mountains of Poland. The story begins in 1945 as the war was drawing to a close. With Soviet forces advancing, local witnesses reported a train loaded with Nazi treasures, gold bars, precious art and weapons, vanishing into a series of tunnels hidden in the mountains. Can you imagine the chaos? Soldiers scrambling, knowing everything depended on getting those valuables out of reach. Fast forward decades later, radar scans reignited this chilling legend, prompting modern excavations. Yet, despite significant efforts and the hopes of treasure hunters, nothing has ever surfaced. Some speculate that the riches were whisked away to Austria, safely tucked away from prying eyes. But what if the gold train still lies in wait, buried under collapsed tunnels, eternally guarded by the ghosts of those who once sought it? The eerie thought of explorers disappearing without a trace adds a haunting layer to this tale. What do you think? Could those treasures still be hidden, waiting for the right person to uncover them? Number 4. Rommel's Treasure. As we dive into our next mystery, let's focus on one of World War II's most enigmatic figures, Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, famously known as the Desert Fox. While his military strategies have been widely scrutinized, there's a tantalizing tale that begs our attention: Rommel's rumored hidden treasure. As the war raged through North Africa, whispers of a secret stash of jewels and gold looted from the region began to swirl among soldiers and civilians alike. Picture this: crates filled with priceless artifacts hastily packed onto a submarine at the war's end, destined for safer shores. Legend has it that this vessel set sail only to vanish mysteriously off the coast of Corsica. Can you imagine the excitement of those treasure seekers scouring the seafloor, echoing the hopes and dreams of countless adventurers before them? For decades, divers have braved the challenging waters, driven by a mix of ambition and fascination, yet not a single trace has surfaced. But this story takes a twist. What if the submarine didn't meet its end in the depths? Some postulate that it was secretly recovered by Allied intelligence, perhaps to prevent Rommel's secret legacy from falling into the wrong hands. This imaginative angle adds layers to our understanding of wartime intelligence and the lengths to which nations would go to control a fortune. While Rommel is often remembered for his military acumen, it's this treasure tale that captures our imagination, leaving us to ponder: could the riches of the Desert Fox be hidden just beneath the waves, waiting to be uncovered? Number 5. Mussolini's Gold Convoy. As April 1945 rolled in, Italy was teetering on the brink of collapse, and Benito Mussolini's grip on power was slipping away. In an attempt to salvage whatever he could, Mussolini's loyalists orchestrated a desperate plan to transport an astonishing haul of gold bars, priceless jewels, and works of art. Loaded onto trucks, this prized convoy aimed for the safety of Switzerland, far from the chaos of war. But as fate would have it, that convoy vanished into the mountains, never to be seen again. Imagine the tension in the air as those trucks wound their way through the rugged terrain, their drivers acutely aware of the stakes. Witnesses later recounted chilling stories of partisans, those fierce Italian freedom fighters ambushing the convoy. According to some accounts, these brave souls buried the treasure deep in the earth, hoping to keep Italy's wealth from falling into the hands of oppressors. But others tell a different tale. They whisper of Allied agents who, in a cold twist of fate, intercepted the convoy, erasing all traces of both the treasure and its fateful journey. The years rolled on, and with them came tantalizing leads. Skeletons were discovered, coins that hinted at ancient grandeur, and cryptic documents from the war era surfaced, each stirring the imagination of treasure hunters and historians alike. Yet despite these discoveries, the full treasure remains elusive, continuing to captivate the minds and hearts of those who dream of uncovering this slice of lost history. Number 6. The U-boat treasure. Among the most captivating mysteries of the last century are the tales of Nazi treasure hidden beneath the waves, specifically the elusive U-boat Gold. As World War II drew to a close, several German U-boats were rumored to be transporting not just weapons and supplies, but also vast fortunes in gold and precious cargo. U-534 and U-859 are two infamous submarines that were later discovered in the Atlantic, remarkably intact yet entirely empty. This only intensifies the speculation. Where did that treasure go? One of the prevailing theories suggests that the gold was discreetly offloaded at South American ports before the war's end. This aligns with what many historians note about the connections between Nazi officials and South American nationals during that time. However, if this treasure was indeed transferred to a foreign shore, why do treasure hunters persist in their search beneath the waves? Those intrepid adventurers claim that advanced sonar technology has detected metallic shapes lurking deep within the ocean, shapes that could potentially be the lost treasure aboard those sunk U-boats. Yet, Despite the allure of uncovering this sunken fortune, government officials have continuously denied permission for deep-sea salvage operations in these specific areas. This begs the question, what are they hiding? Is it mere speculation that drives their silence, or is there a compelling reason to keep the details buried, perhaps tied to political legacies or existing claims on that gold? The mysterious legacy of the U-boat treasure continues to tantalize both treasure hunters and history enthusiasts alike, leaving many to ponder the depths of the ocean where secrets may rest in silence. Number 7. The Hungarian crown jewels. In the chaotic aftermath of World War II, Hungary's royal treasures faced a perilous fate. The Holy Crown of St. Stephen, a symbol of 1,000 years of Hungarian history, was among those jewels destined to be targeted by Soviet hands. Unsurprisingly, as the Iron Curtain descended, a group of determined individuals orchestrated a daring plan, smuggling these irreplaceable artifacts out of Budapest in 1945. Imagine the tension as they maneuvered through war-torn streets, the weight of history pressing down on them, all while knowing the stakes were higher than ever. Ultimately, the US Army seized the royal regalia, safeguarding it within the fortified walls of Fort Knox, a decision that would mean security but also raise questions. However, this treasure trove was not entirely intact. Hungarian historians tell a different story, with whispers of smaller relics that mysteriously vanished during this turbulent period. Were they merely lost in a chaotic journey, or did those tasked with their protection pocket them as souvenirs? Visualize the impact of such losses, items once cherished by kings and queens fading away, leaving a gaping hole in Hungary's cultural heritage. This tantalizing mystery highlights the entwined themes of preservation and loss, beckoning us to consider how history can be preserved or obscured by those who hold its keys. The fate of the Hungarian crown jewels seems less a conclusive tale and more a reflection of the complex human emotions that drive actions even in the darkest of times. Number 8. The gold of the Reichsbank. As the air thickened with smoke and urgency, the final days of the Third Reich painted a chaotic scene in Berlin. While the city crumbled under the weight of its actions, high-ranking Nazi officials were not just concerned with survival, they were focused on preserving their wealth. The Reichsbank's immense reserves, literally tons of gold bars, currency, and priceless jewels, became their lifeline, hidden away in secret Alpine bunkers. Imagine the tension as these officials scrambled, crates of shimmering gold being transferred under the cover of darkness, knowing this hoarded fortune was more than mere currency. It was a symbol of power and corruption. The stakes could not have been higher, yet these clandestine efforts were only temporary. When US troops arrived, some of this treasure was unearthed, recovered from its hiding places. Yet even in their military precision, they only managed to scratch the surface of this vast wealth. The Merker treasure discovery in 1945 stands testament to this mystery. Massive quantities of gold hidden deep within salt mines, a stark contrast to the devastation above ground. The thrill of uncovering such riches might have stirred a glimmer of hope amidst the darkness of war, but it also opened a Pandora's box of questions. Where was the rest? Rumors persisted like whispers on the wind, suggesting that convoys had slipped away with even more gold before the Nazis could be cornered. Many believe that this wealth didn't vanish. Instead, it was cunningly laundered into post-war Europe through shadowy networks. Imagine entire communities unknowingly benefiting from ill-gotten gains, while the real stories of this treasure remained buried beneath layers of deception. The enigma of the Reichsbank's gold lives on, reminding us that history is rarely as clear-cut as it seems. Each lost bar of gold represents not just an asset, but an untold story, resonating across generations in the quest for truth and justice. Number 9. Patton's missing convoy. In the final months of 1945, General George S. Patton was a figure shrouded in both glory and controversy. his military genius second only to the stormy nature of his personality. As World War II came to a close, Patton found himself faced with a mission that would prove as enigmatic as the man himself. Just weeks before his tragic car accident, he allegedly ordered a secret convoy, shrouded in secrecy, to transport valuable Nazi treasures captured during the war. This convoy was purportedly loaded with gold, documents, and potentially sensitive artifacts, the very kind of items that could be pivotal in the post-war world. The speculation swirling around its purpose is tantalizing. Some assert that Patton was ensuring these assets would be used for American intelligence operations, a calculated move in a rapidly changing geopolitical landscape, while others whisper that the convoy simply vanished, lost to the chaos of the newly evolving Europe. To add to the mystery, Patton's sudden death just weeks later in a seemingly tragic car accident raised more than a few eyebrows. Was it merely an unfortunate mishap, or was there something more sinister at play? The details of his convoy went largely unanswered, leaving a void filled with conspiracy theories and mistrust that persists to this day. Consider this: what if the treasures that vanished were never about money, but about control? Who truly benefited from the disappearance of these critical assets? These questions linger, captivating the minds of those who hear this story, echoing the complexities of trust and suspicion that still resonate in the world. Number 10. The Vatican's hidden gold. As we delve into the depths of one of the most perplexing narratives surrounding the Vatican, we uncover the tantalizing possibility that hidden gold may lie beneath its hallowed walls. It's a story intertwined with shadows of World War II. Rumors suggest that during the chaos, the Vatican may have engaged in secretive transactions with Nazi and Croatian forces, allegedly laundering their gold to protect these assets from Allied forces. Picture this: as Europe was engulfed in turmoil, the Vatican, a symbol of moral authority, could have played a role in one of history's most controversial financial escapades. Caught up in this intrigue are declassified documents revealing a web of suspicious transfers routed through the Vatican Bank and Swiss intermediaries. The financial mysteries grow deeper as we consider the staggering amounts of wealth tied to wartime plundering, hundreds of millions of euros potentially unaccounted for. The Church has consistently denied any wrongdoing, labeling these claims as mere conspiracy theories. Yet, historians grapple with the unsettling question: what if there's more to this story? The truth might be lurking within sealed archives, waiting for a diligent researcher to bring it into the light. Could the Vatican's acceptance of these dubious transactions represent a significant compromise of its principles? As we ponder this mystery, let's reflect on how these events resonate with our own search for truth in complex matters today. After all, the intersection of morality and power has haunted us throughout history, leaving us wondering what other truths remain hidden beneath the surface.